Right, I'm going to show you how to chop up some samples, chop up some drum beats and add them to a MIDI keyboard and essentially use it like an MPC. If you don't know, this is what an MPC is. It stands for MIDI Production Center, massive in hip hop, been used for years. Traditionally, this is the most notable one, the Akai MPC XL2000, I think it is. What we're going to do is chop up some samples, send them to this MIDI keyboard and use these pads in exactly the same way. So for this, I'm using FLstudio. You can do this in other DAWs, but today I'm using FLstudio. So first off, I'm going to use the FPC plugin. So you want to go to your sampler, go to replace, look for your FPC, and as you can see, it kind of looks like an MPC, apart from its Fruity Loops version. I still call it Fruity Loops. That's what it was called before they changed the name to FLstudio. Right, so as you can see, if I hit a pad on here, it controls this on here. So what we're going to do is wipe the slate clean with an empty preset and set this up. Because if I hit this pad, it is triggering the second right one. You can't see it lighting up, but that's not what we want. So we're going to tell the plugin to learn the button that we press to correspond with the correct MIDI note. By doing that, we just want to click on this note, go up to MIDI note, go to learn, and then just hit this pad. And then, as you can see, well, you can't really, it is lighting up both of them. That's because we need to set the next note. We'll do that again. We'll hit that one, go there, to learn, hit the second pad, and now it's just lighting up the one. And you'll go through and do that for each consecutive pad. I've got 8 pads, some MIDI controllers have 4, some have 16. It depends what controller you've got, but this is how you set it up. And then you save it as a preset. That's as simple as going to the arrow here and going to save preset, which I won't do because I already have a few of my own. You can name it what you want. I've got 2 empty slots, kit 1, kit 2, and 1 set for sample pads. So chopping samples in FLstudio, where you have something called Edison, and it is a great tool for all sorts of things, but today we're using it for slicing samples. For drums, I'm going with this boom bap beat that I have. And I just need to drag that into here, and then I can play it from here. Then what I'm going to do is slice each individual instrument and send it to the MIDI pads. So I'll take the kick drum, the hi-hat, and the snare drum and send it to each different pad so I can play it myself. So to do that, we're just going to left click from the back end of the hi-hat over the bass drum. This is the bass drum here, and we want to get it as tidy as possible. I'm trying to do this while recording with one hand. That's your bass drum there. And we'll come to this arrow here. Quick tip, you want to have both plugins open to make this a lot easier, just passing files across. Grab this arrow and that'll bring that file across to here. And then when I play this pad, there's your bass drum. So I've just quickly went ahead and chopped them up, and now I've got a drum kit. Now we're going to do the same thing for samples, but there's a slight difference in how we set the FPC up, and it's literally just one little step. So we're going to open another instance of FPC. I'm going to open my preset of sample pads, and it's all set up to how I like it, and it's exactly the same steps as how you set the drum samples up. The only difference is that you want to set the cut on each pad by 1. You don't want to do this on the drums, but you want to do it on your sample pads. So the reason you want to set the cut to 1 by 1 on the instance of FPC you'll be sampling from is so the samples don't overlap each other. Now, we don't do it on the drums because that's what you want. A hi-hat and a snare drum plays at the same time, plays at the same time as the bass drum. And with a sample, you don't want that overdub. You want the samples coming in nice, cut and clean. Right, so for the sample, we're going to do the same thing. I'm using this dark lo-fi chopped piano strings at 140 BPM. I'm just going to leave me BPM like that, and we're going to chop it up. So when it comes down to chopping up bits of music or samples for your own music, it's down to your imagination. There's no really like you can have this bit, or you need to do it in 4 bars or 2 bars or 6 bars. It's down to what you can do and how well you can work your software. Just like we did with the drums, I'm just going to take out some bits that I like. It could be big bits, it could be little bits. It is really down to you at this point. Okay, so I'll quickly chop them up, and this is what I've got, but this is why you want them to cut out quick so you can... So now that we've got some samples, let's make a beat. So let's lay down some drums first. I'm going to keep the BPM at 140. I've got the loop on. I'm going to do 4 bars. I've got the overdub on so I can do some hi-hats first, then some bass drum, and then some snare drum. So let's go. Easy as that. Right, so we've got a quick, simple bass drum down. It can always be altered later on and you can spice things up, but we need to get the bones of it. So, next, sample. This time we'll just grab the FPC that's got the samples on, hit play, and fire away like we did with the drums. There you go. And that's it. That's the easiest way I've found to sampling beats on FLstudio when it comes to dial them into a MIDI pad and getting it to work sort of like an MPC and having that real hip-hop feel and control over the music. It feels great. And then after that, it's all down to your own imagination. Well, I hope this helped somebody. Have a great fucking day, guys. Love you all.